No me. Just
There briefly.
He was there briefly. He was there for us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Olivia and I's Top 20 for the year. It's that time of year again that we go through and do our lists. Hello, Olivia. How are you?
Hi. I'm not going to give you the answer I said earlier, and I'm going to say great. I'm fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are both fantastic
We're both
now.
great.
I miss you already.
I was just going to say that. Arwen
Yeah.
visited me. God, was it only a week ago? 2 weeks ago? It doesn't matter. You visited me, and I miss you.
Yeah, it was only a week ago, and it was a fantastic time, and I miss Minneapolis already. And it's just crazy.
Everybody come visit Minneapolis. It's really wonderful. I'm convincing everybody to move here.
Such wonderful people watching, such wonderful people that are up there. And sometimes you're sitting in a like French crepe cafe and the like yoga pants store across the thing is just playing like super inspirational music. And they're
a little
just
bit of Fall Out Boy was
their
in there, I
thing.
think.
They're
great.
It's going crazy.
Do your
Because
stretches.
why not? Yeah, so it is top 20 time again. We are back. We're doing the thing. So we do like on my channel, we'll do like our top 10 games of the year. It's a tradition for us, but this has also kind of become a tradition for us in doing our top 20 of all time, giving everybody the updates of where things stand. And thank you for that, Amanda. Hopefully you were able to make it. I couldn't wait for it either, personally.
Yeah, I'm excited to see friendly faces here because I'm just not at conventions this year. So I need to find a way back to everybody.
You definitely do. So do you want to go through how you made your list, Olivia, and then I'll go through how I made mine?
I do, because it changed this year. So last year, I did like broad strokes overall, like what has been my favorite. I almost did like little buckets of like older games that I liked, like what brought me into the hobby, miniatures, all these other things. And this year, I completely reevaluated it because I didn't play many games this year. I do at game night, but not many at home. So I went with a completely different view of it. And so things shifted a bit. I feel like I've attacked my own personality from this because I always say like I love worker placements, and there's really just not that many on my list. It's really what I'm getting to the table or what I will always say yes to is kind of how I treated it this year. So we'll see how it switch up. How did you do your list?
So I took my list from last year and I took a look at what I've been playing in the past year, as well as like my new hotness and, you know, the stuff that was on my top 10 list this year. And I went into Pub Meeple, re-ranked everything, and this is what I came up with. So
I need to use that because I just have a note on my phone and that's not helpful.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for listening, Danny. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's been a year. We'll see how much yours moved. I'm very interested to see that because I did have some movement in mine.
I'm excited to show you.
Well, I'll go ahead and get started. We won't belabor the point anymore. My number 20 was my number 19 from last year, and that is Brass Birmingham. Just eked into the top 20, and I will say Flip 7 was almost there because it's just grown on me. And
are you saying it's not even on your list?
No, Flip 7 is not on my list.
I feel personally attacked by this.
It was number 21.
My God.
Because I had a fantastic experience at Flip 7. Like that is one of my all-time experiences.
Yeah.
But the game itself is at number 21. Brass Birmingham is a kind of heavy economic game. You're building routes. You're trying to use up resources. You're flipping over your resource generators for massive points and building your economy up so that you can build more stuff. And there's beer in it, as opposed to like because why not? You just add beer and it's a better game. I will say that this did slip down one for me. I got a couple of plays in this year. Still a fantastic game, but in comparison to some of the other stuff on my list, I felt like this is kind of where it landed for me.
Did you see they're coming
Great.
out with, I think, Pittsburgh, Brass Pittsburgh?
I did.
Okay.
And normally I would back it, but I figured somebody else is going to at some point around here, so I'll just play
I
theirs.
I'm God, I'm just gonna say it. I'm rarely like, yay, America. But
Mhm.
when it comes to like the very Midwest or Rust Belt, I'm very much like, those are my people. And so when I saw that, because like I don't have any attachment to Birmingham or anything like that, and I forget what the other one is. It's both London,
Lancashire.
Lancashire. I have no attachment to that, but when I saw they were doing this one, I finally was like, okay, because this game is great. I love it. I love playing it with friends. I love the general vibe, but I'm really attached to it. This might be the one and only thing that I back this year, so I'm really excited.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully I get to come out and visit and
yeah,
we'll just play your copy.
yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Well, my number 20 moved down from my number 19 because it can't not be in there. It's Rummy Cube because, again, what game will I always play? Rummy Cube. That brought me into playing games in general. That brought me into the hobby. I was a child genius at this game when I played with the adults, and so I have a very big attachment to like the physical pieces to it and everything. And it's basically just gin rummy, but with cubes. And it's, yeah, no, I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't think it'll ever leave my list, but I say that now. We'll see what it looks like next year. Yeah.
And they are just so chunky and fun to play with that it's a nice thing.
Yeah. I debated dominoes for that reason too, because like a nice, heavy, like almost stone piece domino feels very good, but I don't play that nearly as much as I could with Rummy Cube. So Rummy Cube's my number 20.
Amazing. Well, my number 19 was my number 16 from last year. It slipped down a little bit, but it is a worker placement game called Darwin's Journey. This was by Simone Luciani and Nestor Mongeon. It's a heavy game, but it is a fantastic game. There's a lot of routes that you can go to score points. You can go and you can explore, you can research. You specialize your workers as well so that they can start doing better and more unique things. And you kind of specialize them for your strategy. It's super heavy, but once you get into it, it flows really, really well. It's very, very satisfying. The artwork on it is fantastic. I have not had a chance to play the expansion yet, even though I have that. I've got the little wooden, kind of magnifying glasses as well.
Ooh,
And
ooh,
yeah,
sexy pieces. I love that.
yeah, it's good. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic little game. And I've had so much fun with it. And I'll play this with just about anybody. Oh,
I
Espen's
love
saying
that
that the
Ryan says,
expansion
yeah.
makes it better.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
one thing that I do. I was literally just thinking I've got expansion fatigue, and I've stopped getting like every expansion that comes out for everything. But I say that knowing that two things on my list, I kind of require expansions with it, or else I won't play it. So I love
Yeah.
to hear that expansion makes it better.
And that looks like Chris Barrows said this one was in the collection, but everyone seemed to have bought it, who I would play with it. So it was sold.
Yeah,
Gorgeous production. Yeah.
I've had to do that with
There's
a lot of games.
yeah, there's a ton of overlap, and you just got to get rid of the stuff that you don't think is going to get played with anybody outside that group that already has it.
I am realizing now that your list is basically my wish list because you're playing all the games that I want to be playing, and instead, I mean, it will be revealed what I've been playing. My number 19 for this dropped from, it used to be my number 10. Last year was my number 10. This year it's number 19, and that's Blood on the Clock Tower. In a similar vein, I kind of chunked out certain games so they didn't meet with the same criteria, but this is one that I'm genuinely kind of feeling guilty about, which is why it's dropped so much, because I have played with enough people who do not have a good time with hidden role trader games. I love it, and I can't, like, this is the only one I want to play now. I don't really care for Werewolf because this replaces it so well. I also really like GMing the game. I've done that a bunch of times now. I kind of forgot a bunch of rules the first few times, but I figured it out, as you do. They make it pretty easy and give you a breakdown of kind of what roles go first when everybody is eyes down, asleep. But yeah, it's your classic hidden role game where you've got imposters who are trying to kill off the villagers. And then there are I've played some really unique scenarios where there's some really sneaky characters in it, very neutral roles. And this is the one where if you die, you're not out of the game. You still get to play. You still get to get one last vote. I think it's genius. I absolutely love it, but it dropped because people just weren't having a good time. And I have to respect the fact that I get a lot of joy with my friends getting a lot of joy out of gaming. So it dropped for that reason.
Yeah, I could see that where it's not going to hit for some people because of the kind of conflict that goes on. I did get Allie into it this year. She got a couple games under her belt. I got a lot of friends into it this year because fortunately I've got a fantastic GM that lives right by me, runs a game almost every single month. And yeah,
Well,
it's
what I will say is that in Minneapolis, I've got a really good group that's doing like weekly. So like, I don't know if anybody's interested. I don't know if anybody in the chat is here in Minneapolis, but there's some good people hanging out.
Yeah, Barrows, at some point we used to have a game that went on at PAX every year, and that's kind of gone by the wayside.
Chris, you've never played? Oh, do I need to come to PAX Unplugged just so we can teach
I think so.
Chris? Ooh, that might get me. I was no to Origins, but maybe yes to Unplugged.
I mean, Tabletop Express Blood on the Clock Tower session.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
It's calling to me.
We've started things before at PAX Unplugged. So my number 18 was my number 11 last year, and that is Russian Railroads. This is another worker placement game, very heavy on the engine progression. You are literally building engines, and you're moving up these tracks. Your first round, I think there's only 6 rounds to the game. Your first round, you might score 5, 6, 7 points. By the end of it, you're scoring like 300. It is such a wild game. It ramps up so quickly. You start off being able to do very little, and by the end of the game, you get to do so much, and you're just bouncing off of all these different things and making things happen. It's very combo-tastic.
When I hear I love math, I'm like, no.
No, the math is fantastic. The math is absolutely fantastic in this game. Trying to figure out the best possibilities that you have, what you need to build up. Really from a crunchiness and kind of engineering what you want to do in the game. This game is incredibly satisfying for that.
You had me at engine and lost me at math.
You should still play it sometime. You'll change your mind.
And that's the thing, is like, if I'm with the right people who will do the math for me, I'm all for it. I will play the chunkiest of games, but I just don't want to math. I don't want to be told.
We can always score together. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, BGA handles.
Yeah.
There's been a lot, and I understand Asmodee has now taken over BGA. I guess I don't know if they had it originally, but now there are so many games on BGA that I keep forgetting to check out what's on there. But also I always remind myself that like I'd have to learn it. I really like to learn in person before I go on BGA, because then I'm just not confused. But I have to look into that. We really need to start gaming again on BGA.
I know.
Okay, my number 18 was my number 16 last year, and that's Phantom Inc. I love this game. I say I don't like math, and I also really don't like word games. This is the one word game that if it's out, I'm going to play it. You've got you're split into two teams. One team member on each team is playing a ghost. And they are giving out clues to your team by writing out a word or a couple of words down. They will go individually by letter, and you can tell your ghost to stop at any point, which means you might receive information that the other team doesn't fully understand, because the question isn't public knowledge. It's so clever. I always have to lead with a caveat that I worked for the company. I worked for Resonant. I love them dearly. And that game has a really big place in my heart. And again, it's one of those games I'm always going to play if it's brought out. You had it at your birthday, I think, one year that I was really sad I couldn't be at, because you were all dressed up in costumes and you had the you can get a big printout of the sheets of paper. And I think you had it on the erasable board, which really just brings in a really good vibe when you're doing it. Also, really easy to play if you've got drinks or something, or if you're at a party. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Rounds are very quick. It's 15 minutes at best. Everybody is left laughing with it because they're judging what your answer might have been, or what you misunderstood within the game. It's just clever. The art's beautiful. I haven't played with the expansion yet, again, because I've gotten expansion fatigue. I hear it's very, very good. I don't care. I love the base game. I love the base game, and I will always love the base game.
I have the disappearing ink pens and everything for the expansion, and still haven't played with them.
Yeah, same. I with the moment that it went on Kickstarter, I'm obviously I'm buying this, and then I completely did the thing where it just went on the shelf. I think it was the same year that I moved into our house, and so I just have not had the capacity to play in a game. Oh, and Chris said they got it for $5 at Barnes & Noble once, which is a fantastic deal, because I think this is MSRP $19.99 or something. $5. Wow.
They had a sale for a little while where it was $10 and then it was $7.50, and I picked up all the copies for $7.50 because I figured I'm just gonna give them out as gifts.
Yes.
If somebody plays this and really loves it, I'm just going to give them a copy of it and be like, here you go.
Yeah, no, this one's great. This is a great one for gifts.
And I have yet to play it with somebody that doesn't really like it. I've played it with so many people that have gone and said, I am going to go and grab a copy now. Which
I demoed it hundreds of times. I should have counted. And I think there was maybe only one group who was I don't understand this. And I'm it's the end of the day on the last day of a convention. I think it was Gen Con. I'm you're good. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. You don't need to. My heart's a little bit broken, but it's fine.
No, that was a good pick, Olivia. I fully agree. I really love that game. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's fantastic. Yep.
Well, my number 17 moved up in the list from last year. It was number 20. This is a game called Fromage. And this is also worker placement
It's so beautiful. I don't even I literally know nothing about it other than cheese, and that it's very, very beautiful.
Yeah, it is a gorgeous game. It is a very satisfying game. You have this central wheel that you see on the screen. Whatever pie is basically facing you, or wedge, which is thematic because it's cheese. Whatever one is facing you, you get to work on. So you can place a cheese, You might have the ability to place another cheese if you spend these cows as resources. You can use buildings to do different things. You get a basic set of buildings, which once you build that little ability, that's yours for the rest of the game. And you basically use those throughout the game. There's berries that serve as points. If you see on here certain cheeses require different berries or jams to go with them, and you multiply the two together. It
Math.
is.
Did you just say math? Did you? I heard multiply. Did you say math?
I mean, it's very basic math. It's
Okay,
very
I can do
basic
that.
math, Olivia.
I
It's
can handle
fine.
that. I can handle that.
We'll work through it. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to go into therapy after this specifically for math, just being brought up.
Yeah. The most beautiful thing about this game, though, is the fact that you have these three different cheeses. You have a soft cheese, you have a blue cheese, and then you have like a cheddar or a hard cheese. And those three meeples are kind of going to be the cheeses that you have to work with. And as the board rotates, it's going to depend on how powerful an action you take when you get that cheese back to use again. And I think that is such a brilliant mechanic. It's something that the Game Makers by Bezier that's coming up also implemented in their game. But I love the implementation here. I think it works so well. It's very, very clever. It's very satisfying. And Formaggio as well, the expansion has my favorite map on it, which is the Venezia map, where you're kind of building out these canals. And it's such a good game. And one of my favorite topics to talk about, cheese. So
I know that we've probably talked about this last year because I am a squeaky wheel, but I'm a Wisconsinite, and I'm still sad that it's not a Wisconsin game, even though it's cheese. I really want to play it though because I obviously am very attached to cheese.
I'm not saying that there might not be plans for something in the future, but who knows?
Oh. Also, you mentioned soft cheese and hard cheese. Your wonderful wife, whose birthday was a week ago when you guys came up, we had a crystallized hard cheddar, a crunchy cheddar is I think what it was described to me as. And boy, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I got to go for the goat
Liz
cheese.
Davidson for that.
Yeah. I don't know if she was there when I tried it, so I'll have to let her know that it was an interesting space for me.
Which, speaking of Liz Davidson, cheap plug, if you listen to Cardboard Time tomorrow, you will get to hear Liz Davidson live on my podcast. Go to cardboardtime.com or anchor.fm/cardboardtime or any podcasting platform. And
could you interview Liz while you were here?
Yeah.
We literally find the time.
We got off the plane and literally went to Leader after breakfast with Liz and recorded an interview. I got up at 3:00 in the morning and still recorded that interview with Liz.
Oh, heck yeah. Ian, as a fellow Scani, I completely agree. Heck yeah, we do. There is a really good game. I think it's called Milkman, and I can't remember. It was one of the publishers that I've worked with in the past that had like little cow meeples, and I think was maybe stationed out of like a Wisconsin, but I would have to double check it. I just love, it's in my heart.
Yeah.
So my number 17 dropped from last year, and it's going to be a big disappointment. It's Papagino, which was 11 last year.
Ooh.
I know. It's a game. So these first 5 are really games that are like party games. I can play with anybody. And I recognize that this one was one that I'll still play whenever, but that I am mostly just bringing anywhere I go, and not one that I'm picking out at game night. So it's one that we'll play at cons. It's ones where we are out to eat. I will play it at new friends who aren't used to board gaming. It has been described as the card game Golf, which you would normally play with like a deck of cards. But essentially, you have 6 cards in front of you, face down at the beginning of the game. and you are trying to flip over all 6 so that you score closest to 0 points or negative points, hopefully. So you want to have the least amount of points. And the way that you do that is on the columns. If the top card is the same as the bottom card, they negate each other. Otherwise, you, I'm saying this now, but it's math. It is very, no, it's okay. It's okay. Because there's just like a little bit of math in there. So if you have different cards, one on top, one on bottom, you minus those 2 numbers together. And that part is hard. Let's all admit it. That part is really, really hard of the game. So if you don't like math, you should still do it because it's still fun. You can do it on your calculator.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's cute. A friend introduced this to me this is one of those games that like friend introduced it to me. I bought it immediately. I introduced it to friends. They all bought it immediately. I can't remember if you had to wait for it to go back on sale because at some point they were completely sold out.
Yeah. I think that we had to wait for it to go back on sale at Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the only place that we could find it.
Yep. It was. Ryan says, I'll bust out the TI-83. I also have trauma from, like, I hated it. I hated math. And I decided to not let it stick in my brain because why would I ever need it again? And then, boom, I got into board games.
Then you got into an industry where you really need to do math a lot.
You really need to do math a lot. Yeah. The point system, it's always math. But it's a great game. It's a great game.
It is.
Pocket size. We love it. But it dropped because I hadn't been playing it as much as I've been playing it in years past.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And things can drop. They can always go back up depending on how you feel about it later. Well, my number 16 was my number 13 last year, so it dropped a little bit. It is a flip and write with polyominoes. This one's Cartographers. I have all the maps for this. It is a lovely game. Fairly easy to teach, I would say, especially with the basic maps. And I will say this can play as many people as you have space for. Yeah, I always play with the heroes, Chris. It's a must for me. I find that you've got to combine everything. Yeah, it's such a lovely game to kind of come back to, and every once in a while I'll boot the app up. I'll do a solo playthrough of it, and it hits every time for me.
I need to get that.
Yeah,
I love this game. Wild.
Yeah. I don't know if it does multiplayer, but we should see.
That's okay. I mean, like the thing is with most of my game apps, it's all solo play. It's what am I doing in between a task? What am I doing to get a break from work? I'm going to play a quick game. Rare World Inc. was great. They had an app as well, but Cartographers is one of my favorite flip and writes because it is super easy to teach. And it's shockingly not an Uwe Rosenberg game because it's a lot of polyomino building or mapping essentially. Yeah.
So, Ian, I will say that Cartographers used to be my number one verb and write. However, that has changed.
I'm excited to see what that is. Foreshadowing. Speaking of which, my 16 also dropped. This was number 8 last year, and it's an Uwe Rosenberg game. This one is Bonanza. Which is another good, like, I kind of, you've seen the theme now. It's a lot of the, like, partier games. This one, God, it's so stupid. I love it so much. You're bean farmers, and you're trying to trade beans with the other players that you're playing with. It plays, I believe, up to 6, which is why it gets to the table a lot with our group, because our group is now, like, at 10, 12 people, if they all show up on the same day. I know everybody here has that same problem. We're all suffering. But Bonanza is one that'll play a lot of people. Essentially, you have a hand of cards, which are beans, and they all have a rarity to them. The ones that are more rare, you need less of to score more points. The more that they aren't rare, you'll score a little bit less points and you'll need to get more cards. You will always plant the first card in your hand, so they can't ever shuffle or move, but you can trade those cards with other players. I often, like, I'm at the point where I'm talking about bean promises and future bean promises to friends that I've never played this game with. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because we do bean promises in this game, because technically you can offer something that you don't currently have. You do not have to act upon it, and you can offer a bean promise and not fulfill that bean promise. But that's brought up, that's come between a lot of friendships. So usually we'll hit on our bean promise. But I love this game. Again, Uwe Rosenberg, who is historically my favorite designer. This is one of his first games. I really, really want to get the Beth Sobel Dahlia's version, because the beans version's a little outdated. We will admit. I can't remember when this came out, but it was either early aughts, I think. Yeah.
It might have been late 90s.
That's what I was thinking too. But then I was like, do I remember this correctly?
1997.
Wild. Absolutely. Yeah. So as you can imagine, this is 1997 art. They did not really upgrade the art except for the Dahlia's version, which is why I really want to get that one, because it'll feel better playing that one.
Plus, it's Beth. I mean, her art is fantastic.
Can't go wrong. But I'll still probably call them future bean promises, despite them being Dahlia's. Future seed promises maybe is what I should be saying, because I think, is a bean also a seed?
Yeah.
I'll look that up. Okay, great.
I believe
Super.
so.
Future seed promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonanza's great. I'm happy when people get excited to play it.
I fully agree. I love Bonanza, and I've played it with quite a few people at this point. A lot of newbies to the hobby, and people are like, "Oh, this is kind of different. This is neat."
This is one that we played at our work holiday party, and it was fun to try and teach people. Trying to explain, this is why it was maybe a little bit higher up, because it gets more difficult as I climb my top 20. But this one is a little bit hard to explain for like pure newbies. Just to explain that negotiating part of, like, you can give me one of your cards, I can receive one of your cards, and what that card is genuinely worth. And half the time, the people that I play with don't really care about how much it's worth. We just want to get our own beans. So it always plays differently depending on who's at the table. Are we hiring? We're always hiring. We're always constantly hiring. And you could work with me.
Well, that'd be worth it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I got to get you first, Arwen.
That's true. I need to get out to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Well, my number 15 is brand new to the list. I just played it this year. Olivia, this was something that we had played a different version of at PAX Unplugged, I think 2 years ago. More of a basic version of it. I did get the new version of it. I did get this to the table a few times at this point. I love Foundations of Rome.
Yes.
This is such a good game, and it looks incredibly complicated, right? You look at this and you're like, what the heck is going on? There is so much here. There's like numbers, there's letters. Incredibly straightforward. You have 3 actions that you can do. You can either buy a plot, you can use the plots that you've got to put a building down, or you can take income. And that's it. That's all that you do. How you do it is the core of the game, and you're going to score 3 times based on what you have. The Foundations of Rome version of it is very, very intricate. It's very, ornate. You can kind of see here all the buildings laid out. This was the aftermath of one of my games of it, and it's just such a fun, incredibly easy to teach game. When you pull this,
no, go ahead.
when you pull this out to the table, you have this box that's massive,
Huge. Yeah.
and everybody's looking at you like, what do you mean this is an easy game? And then you tell everybody, here's what you do, and they're like, oh, I can do that. Now you can add different modules to it to kind of spice it up, to make it more interesting. And there's a ton of stuff that you can do. But yeah, it's an incredible game, and I think undecided about painting the roofs all brown red like in playmat art or the player colors. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I could see maybe from a color vision perspective, I think that might be something to do.
Yeah, I feel like I've tried guessing what this game was because I don't think we played it, but I do remember you telling me that Allie liked it, which was what stood out. Yeah, I was like, well, if Allie likes it, fantastic. I could probably get that to some of my friends. It reminds me of the same, like, is verticality a word? But just like the vertical space that you see on a board, similar to like a tower up, or there's that Greek one that I've yet to play.
Babylon?
Yes.
Oh no, Santorini.
No, Santorini. It's the one that so you build up. I really like how that looks on a table, and it reminds me a lot of childhood, of just like getting to play with something that has fun pieces.
Yeah, it's such a fun game, and again, incredibly easy to teach. I didn't get the hype behind it until I sat down at a table. The two of us played Foundations of Metropolis, which is the basic version of this. If you like this, check out Big City. Okay, we'll definitely do that. I need to check that out, because I absolutely love this. I think it's a fantastic game. But yeah, we played Foundations of Metropolis. I got the opportunity to get a good deal on this, and I just said, you know what, I've been thinking about it for long enough. And
that is the biggest barrier, that cost, because look at those pieces. It's always going to end up being a bit more when you've got something that, especially where it looks like you don't have a ton of repeating pieces in there. There's maybe a couple, but it seems like each building has something unique to it. And that always ups the cost. And that always ends up being a one person in the gaming group is going to own that one. But if it's quick and easy to play, I love getting that to the table. Reminds me of Era as well. Era is one where you roll dice and put like physical chunky pieces on the board to build out your medieval town, and you're putting that on like a plastic grid as well. I haven't played that one in ages, and those kind of games end up staying in my collection because I like physically how that ends up playing on the board. Yes, Era Medieval Age is the name of that one. My number 15 was not on my list last year. And that is Dice Throne. We play a lot of 2-player games, and that one, oh my God, I absolutely love this. I don't have a favorite character because I like playing all of the characters. But you are rolling dice, and on your board are different dice results that you can use to get the other player's health down to 0. That's how you win the game. Very Yahtzee, very I'm trying to get different combinations of my dice to specifically do damage, potentially doing damage that is something that they can't defend, or doing more damage that they have defense dice to play against. So happy to hear it on the list. Yeah, no, again, and this is one that's like really wonderful. You can buy individually. It's like $25 for a single 2-player box. I've got a couple different ones. I really like their Krampus versus Santa Claus one because I love a holiday themed game, and it's just goofy enough that I can play that one. And the key with this one is I do not have to reread the rules for a really long time after having not played it for a year or two. This is one that you can just play. I bring it back to the table. I look at the components and I go, oh, that's right. I remember exactly how to play this. Do you plan to play the digital implement? I didn't know that they either have or are going to have that soon. I will admit, I have been off social media this year. Great for me and also really sad because I don't know what's coming out right now. So I'm going to have to look into that one because I will absolutely play that and I will play it a lot.
I believe that it's on crowdfunding right now, if I'm not mistaken.
The urge to like Google something as I'm on a stream is
right.
very deep in me right now.
Right.
I'm gonna pen that down for
write
later.
a note
Dice
because I've got my notes next to me.
Digital. Yeah, heck yeah. This one is like meant for digital implementation too, because it's just so easy. They've got so many characters. They have gone out into other IPs as well. I'm not an IP girly, so I'm fine with just playing their goofy little, almost Dungeons and Dragons characters here. Oh my God, Danny says, yes, crowdfunding. It will be on iOS, Steam, Google Play. I'm so excited. Yep. You have made my day. This is so great. Heck yeah. I bet it'll be on the Steam Deck too. Oh. Okay. I'm thrilled.
Have you played Adventures yet?
I haven't, and this was another one that was at the holiday party this year. Someone brought their entire collection. And when I say entire, it's season 1, season 2, the Marvel, and the campaign version. And I asked her at work, I asked how she liked that, because clearly she really liked the game. And she's like, no, I loved it. It was a great campaign, really added to the gameplay very well. I genuinely really love campaigns. There are a lot of games where if it goes into campaign mode, I'll play it just to see how it goes. So this was one. I want to add that to my list too. I have a lot of Noble Knight credit right now. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. And you know what? Dice Throne Adventures it is.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. But yeah, number 15, new on the list, but not new to me because I've been playing this for a while.
It's a good pick. I've got my own collection, season 1, season 2, Dice Throne Adventures, and that's kind of where I stopped. I did pick up Santa vs. Krampus because it's
great.
A must.
Because it's great. Also, it's similar to era medieval age. I really want to play games where I can roll dice because I apparently very much like the physicality of like rolling dice and stuff. And this one's just fun to do that.
It's a good pick.
Thanks.
My number 14 is brand new to my list. I played it early last year and thought about it for a long time. Finally came in, got to play it a few more times. And I actually got to play it the next morning. I got to go down and tell the designer of it exactly what I thought of it, and he was happy to hear that. This one's Tabriz. This is Randy Flynn's game. This is a phenomenal game about resource management. You're basically trying to roam around a market, and you're making Persian rugs, and the materials that you get are in these different areas, and all of the different areas have different conditions that you have to adhere to get the materials. So some of them, like the one that you see on the right, if you pay 3 coins, you get a resource. If you pay 6 coins, you get 2. And if you get 8, you get to take whatever's there. But if too many resources pile up in that area, all of them get wiped away and you don't have any for a round. There's also a warehouse that you can basically roll and, get resources that way. There's like push your luck mechanics in it. And I love the way that this all came together. Your engine building as well, because every order that you're fulfilling will either give you a one-time bonus or it'll give you a persistent bonus that you collect whenever a new round starts. And the metal coins in this, Randy Flynn was very, very particular in how they got made. And they are some of the best metal coins I've ever experienced in a game. I really, really love this game, and I don't hear enough people talking about it. I got to play this one with Amanda, Amanda Panda, Mick from OFPG, and Joe, Phantom Meeple. We were
all
at
the best people.
yeah, and we were just sitting in the OrcaCon like late night lounge, just sitting 2 o'clock in the morning playing this game and yelling at each other that we stole, this resource from each other. So it just such a great time. Every time that I played this after, it's still hit for me. And then everybody that I've played it with has said, why haven't I heard of this game before now? So
yeah, Chris said literally interviewed him about this and still have not played.
You need to fix that.
That's the thing, is I've been listening to you talk about this all year. And also Randy Flynn is one of my, I've officially ascended him to one of my favorite designers. He does really good work. And with Tabriz, I know he put a lot of care into the design and the actual production of it. You've been talking about it. I have the copy. I backed it, but it's still sitting in shrink wrap on my
anytime shelf. You want to play, let me know.
I'll add that to my list of maybe I shouldn't buy a game and first I should play this one, because having heard you talk about it for a year now, really shoots out to me as like, oh no, this is a great design and great gameplay. Okay. My number 14 is also new this year, so this one doesn't come over from last year. And it's just a fun little press your luck game called Quartz. I kind of regret putting on it mostly because I think this one is now out of print. I think they have a Disney version. I can't remember because I know my friend group has been trying to gift it to people as well. So I'm holding on to it for dear life. But it's a really simple game. You're playing as miners and you are picking gems out of a bag, and they are the physical plastic gems. And most of the colors have a rarity. Certain colors you'll see more of. Other ones will be a little bit more rare. You can stop at any point. If you pull two, I believe they're onyxes, but they're black. If you pull two of those gems, your cart busts. You have to get rid of everything, and you don't score points that round. It's clever. I like to push my luck. I like to push my luck hard. And this one, of all the years, because I think we got this my first Gen Con back in 2016 or 2017, whenever it came out. It was one of those, and had never been able to stop playing it since. This one is especially good teaching new players. It's on beta on BGA. Everybody's giving me the best news tonight, and I'm just so happy over this. Because God, what a good game. There's a little bit of gamerness to it. You've got cards that you can play that force another player to pick out of the bag, and you get to choose which of the two gems they pull. So they might break their cart. So there's a little bit of that vindictiveness if you don't like that. And then there's also things that let you hold on to a gem so that it is in your cart by the end of that round. Yeah, very clever. Really at the peak of renaissance of gaming the last decade. God, yeah, that was a decade ago that it came out, didn't it? Boy, time has flown. Time has really flown. But yeah, one of my favorites for push your lucks. Not the last push your luck on my list.
We might have to check this one out on BGA because I had a copy back in the late 2010s, and
Yeah.
I got rid of mine
Oh,
because I bounced off of it.
oh,
So I'm
I'll
wondering
teach
if it
you.
was more of a me issue, and
I'll teach
let's
you.
play on BGA.
Teach you. We'll play on BGA now that it's on beta. Yeah. Ah, great news. Everybody's making me very, very happy tonight, so I'm really excited for this.
This is what happens when
Yeah.
we get together with
Yeah.
friends.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is what happens anytime I'm with you. I add like 5 to 10 games to my list that I want to get. I can't stop. And again, it is that feeling of like somebody else has joy, so now I have joy.
Mhm.
Ian says, my wife and I love Push Your Luck. We discovered it's one of our favorite mechanisms in the last year. I don't gamble in any way, but I will push my luck. And I equally have been like, it's just a fun, goofy way to push your limits in a way that like you kind of drop your competitiveness, which is something that I really like. These lists are dangerous. Sorry.
Listen, you talk about going to a casino. You don't
Yeah.
gamble,
Oof.
but
Oof.
a board game is still going to be much cheaper than a trip to a casino.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's a
Right.
better investment.
It really is.
Speaking of things that you might find in a casino, this is a great segue.
I love this.
This game was my number 15 of last year. It is a cooperative poker game called The Gang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
Yep. What more can we say other than yep?
yep. It's cooperative poker. I have sold so many copies of this game to people who have played it with me, and at first we're just like, cooperative poker sounds like it sucks. And
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
everybody
terrible
has that
idea.
reaction. Yeah. Yeah.
And then people play it and they're like, yep.
I think you introduced me to this game because equally you were like, here's a card that tells you all of the poker hands. A double, a whatever. And I was like, I don't think this one's going to be for me. And the moment we played it, I was absolutely addicted.
And you're trying to rank these poker hands according to how you think your hand stacks up to everybody else.
Yep.
But you can't tell anybody else what you have. All that you can do is use the chips in the middle as a rank to kind of communicate, I think that I have this. And then people get to see the history of how you've kind of taken chips as opposed to what is on the table and how the center of the table has progressed, throughout the 5 cards that you get as a shared community, kind of hand. And it just works so incredibly well, and you don't think that it's going to, and it really does a phenomenal job. If you have any sort of interest in poker whatsoever,
Yeah.
I would highly recommend getting this game. If you don't have any interest in poker, I would highly recommend getting this game.
Yeah, it did make me a little bit too confident that I could play real life poker because I've got the little cheat sheet from the game. And I think one of the things that you pointed out the first game that we played was you really aren't going to get those very, very rare, like full house flush. You are likely only ever going to get like 2 pairs at best. So navigating that with new players is also key because being unable to communicate is that like initial barrier. I always say the first game doesn't count. But like once you've played through a round or two, you fully pick up on like how people are deciding if they're 5 stars or if they're 1 stars. Yeah, I thought the hand still had some value if partial incomplete, so I ruined half the game. Yep, you learned poker is essentially what happened. You learned poker. This one is my number 11 because it's never going to go off my list. I love it so much. It was not on my list last year because I think did you introduce it to me last year? I can't remember.
I might have.
Yeah, I was like, it's either a year or 2 years ago, but this is another one that like I got other friends to buy. And I'm pretty sure I maybe saw this on BGG that they're doing a deluxe edition or like an additional edition plus expansion, which likely I'm just going to buy because this one was $15. It was $15. That's chump change. It's a whole pizza right there. I can buy that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I got a copy from Cosmos. And as soon as I played it, I was showing it to everybody because I said, this is something special.
Yeah, this one, I also really suggest everybody play with the like helpers. There's two sets of cards where if you win a round, you are going to be dinged with a card that like removes some of the information that you're receiving, or if you lose a round, you get some help from those cards. I like playing with them because that adds the more like board gamey-ness to it. But the base game itself is so much fun. We end up playing multiple times in the night. Yeah. Everybody playing with the extra stuff is fun for that one.
It's key.
Another new one on my list, not new to me, but again, I have restructured my list, and this one is Sagrada, which I have to assume in some way everybody here has played that game. It is on my list specifically for that reason, and for everything that we have literally been talking about tonight. It's rolling dice. It's that physicality of putting your dice in your window screens. It's basically Sudoku, but with colors and numbers. So you can't have the same color die be adjacent to another of the same color or another of the same number. And you're just trying to fill out your window pane, which is supposed to be the Sagrada Familia out in Italy. I've never seen it. I bet it's as beautiful as the board game. But there's additional things. There's public goals and there's private goals. All of the expansions, I think, bring a lot to the game. But honestly, I mostly play it as just the base game because that's what I've taught friends. It does get a little bit complicated with the like orange dice expansion and some other ones. This is one that I didn't really like the campaign for. I played the campaign. I did a 2-player campaign, so I don't know if that affected it. But it was so chaotic. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I will just say that campaign got really chaotic and I felt overwhelmed very quickly. And every turn took a solid 5 minutes to think through every step that you needed to do. And I don't feel like that added as much as I wanted it to add. But otherwise, it was fantastic. And I still use those colored pencils because I can always use more. It's a solid little game for a reason. And it is that like evergreen for a reason. And it is one of my favorite ones to play. Again, for literally all the reasons that we've been talking about tonight. I'm seeing a pattern in myself that I didn't realize was there.
Yeah. I will say I've got a little bit of a story about Sagrada. The remake just came out. Floodgate released a second edition. There is a second edition of this game. And I bounced off of this game because of color vision issues.
Yes. Yep.
And it was the first game that I had that I looked at colors. I was building out my board, and I think it was the blues and the purples.
Yeah.
And I did a move that somebody pointed out, oh, you can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, you can't do that. You can't place the same color or you can't place, these colors next to each other. And I'm like, but they're different. And they're like, no, they're the same. Or it was one of those moments I was just like, oh, this is gonna affect me. So having that second edition come out where you have color vision enhancements that work really well, that you're able to finally see the difference between colors, has been so incredibly wonderful for me. I am working on a video for that. I'm not done with it by any means, but it really has been nice to have, and they did a great job.
Cody put in the comments about a traveling magic show. Is that real? Is there some sort of traveling magic show edition of this Sagrada, or I need to look this up. I need to look this up right now. One of the good things about the campaign was that they did have different types of dice. So they had like a thicker, not translucent color, and then a more opaque color. And I think that also helped with the color blindness. So I held on to the dice for those reasons as well, because that has become such an issue. But yeah, it's a good one. And now I'm excited to check out this new one. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that, Arwen.
Yeah, it's good. They did a very good job. I'll say that up front, but I will save my full thoughts for the video.
Yeah, thank you.
And hello to Omar, who joined us. Well, my number 12 is brand new to the list. It is my new favorite two-player game of all time. This is by Dirtle Games. This is published by Weird Giraffe Games. It is Logic and Lore.
I wish this one was on my list because I absolutely adore this design.
And yeah, because I introduced you to it.
You did.
I know that.
Yep.
I know that.
Yep.
I am the pusher in this relationship.
Yeah, that's okay though. We all need one.
This is such a fantastic design. This is a logic puzzle where you have the cards that you see in the middle are numbered 1 through 9. You have cards that you're going to shuffle up, you're going to deal face down, and you are going to ask questions to your opponent, who is the only one that can look at the cards that you're holding up, and they're logical questions. This game gets really complex, or it can be very, very simple. It's such a brain-burning puzzle, so compact and done so incredibly well. I love this game. The one that is on the screen right now, you'll see with the variance expansion that got done with crowdfunding earlier this year, I believe. And that adds dice to it where your questions are based around these numbers that you're moving to, which you would think this game does not need dice. It doesn't need any sort of variance to it. It works so incredibly well. And I didn't think that this game could get better, and it did. I love this game. If you
so
are
embarrassed. You sent a picture of this. You sent a picture of the dice one time, and I was like, oh, that's just the normal game. You were sending me a picture of the expansion. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. And this was us playing it for the first time at OrcaCon this year. It also includes a sheet where you can log the notes, which for the expansion is very necessary. I will not play without it in the base game either at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it also helps with people with memory issues. My wife kind of suffers with, some short-term memory issues, and that really helped her be able to sit down and play the game as well. So it's such a fantastic two-player experience. It is incredible.
Yeah, Darren and Jason are fantastic designers. Yeah. This was genius. Weird Giraffe publishing it made it beautiful. This was I believe this was on my top 10 this year because it was one of my favorite ones that you've introduced me to. I really like the kind of like logic puzzly-ness to it, of like having to remember which card is which and then trying to remember and deduce things. It's done so well. Really glad we're here tonight talking about it so that I know that I need to get the expansion now. That's just fantastic. It's a great game. It's not on my list, but it's a great game. So my number 12 is new to this list because it was new to me this year. because the first time I ever played it was at Arwen's wedding. And that is Flip 7. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't explain it more. You do have to do math in it. So I understand that I am lying to you all, even though it's only just like a little bit of math. But it's basically like playing, it's blackjack adjacent. You are trying to get different numbered cards and you are pulling from the deck. You can stop at any point. But if you get a repeat of the same number, you bust, you get rid of those cards, you don't score up those points. And the cards are the points. So if I pull a 10, I have 10 points that round if I choose to stop there. There are a couple of other ways of hurting other players, forcing them to either freeze, forcing them to pull 3 cards. It's really, really clever. And when you flip 7, when you have 7 different numbered cards in front of you, the round ends and you get more points because you're special. And I have enacted the rule that you have to flip 7 if you want to win. That is not the legal rule. Don't listen to me. But I really like to push your luck. And I really, really like it. Arwen, you have one of the best videos of me just absolutely killing it after your wedding and just playing this game. This is one that's another one I easily have given to other friends to play, where it's you play it once, you bring it to a wedding, you play it a million times. Yeah, the new Vengeance version, I'm pretty sure that one adds more math.
I think I'm gonna kind of bounce off that one because I like this design so much.
Yeah. Division?
It just seems like it might be adding too much for its own good. I don't know that for a fact. But
no, I'm refusing to play it because division's the one thing that I just can't do. I can do multiplication, I can add, and I can subtract. I can't do division. Too hard. Yeah. But it does add take that elements. The Vengeance one does give some take that. And I like a take that. So I'm kind of torn. I think I'm going to try and play it just to see what it's like. And maybe I'll pull out my calculator for that one. Maybe I'll have a dedicated calculator for Flip 7. But this one's good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was my number 21. Just barely didn't make the list. And yeah, you're pulling this game out all the time for other people. Yeah, it was at our wedding. My kids like it because it's meaner. I don't know what it says about me. I mean, that's what kids are gonna do.
Yeah.
I liked mean games when I was a kid too. I hate them now. I don't like mean games.
I still love them. I like them at 2-player, to be fair though. 2-player where it's like you've only got the 1 player to go against. Sometimes with multiplayer, it can feel mean, depending on who you're playing with.
Or if you have certain mechanics, there's certain games that do it well, but it has to be the right game.
Yes.
And Barrows was at that game that we have the video from that was just magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris was also there. It was your wedding day and you should have been more tired than I was, but there was a point at which I'm like, I'm just exhausted and I'm going to get a little wine drunk and we're going to play this game. And I loved every second of it. And I think everybody had a good time.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And you did so much. I mean, you had the right to be tired.
Nah, you did more. It was your big day.
I just sat and I got pretty and it was nice. I just got married.
Yeah.
Well, my number 11 is also brand new to the list. This is a game by Donald Fassarino, published by Rio Grande Games. This is Moon Colony Bloodbath.
Yeah, I've heard this so much from you. The name alone. Arwen. Both the name and the fact that I am still shocked that Rio Grande is still doing games, and I apologize to everybody at Rio Grande. I did not realize that games were still being published, but it looks fun, and you've described it well.
It's a game by a company that has an AOL email address. Let's face that. It
I
should
love
not
them though.
work.
Yeah.
It should not work, but it does so incredibly well. It is a game about building up a colony on the moon. Things start innocently enough. You're kind of putting together this colony, you're growing it, you've got all this, stuff that you're building, all these, little rooms and that. You're building up your population. And then, you're gonna add a couple of robots in there to help you out, right? That's when things go bad, folks. So it's really an engine building game at heart, and then it is a loss aversion game on the second half, and you're trying to keep as many colonists alive as you possibly can. It's a kind of tongue-in-cheek statement on colonization, as opposed to you're subjecting a planet to colonization and you're exploiting resources. Bad things happen to those people. So that's why I like about this game. They introduce robots to do stuff for them, and bad things happen. It is not going to be a game for everybody. It is not going to be a game for those who are very loss averse and don't like a game that they're going to have to deal with managing very bad things happening to them all the time. But if you're somebody that likes that kind of game, this is a phenomenal game. And again, it's by a company that still has an AOL email address. There's some visual elements to it, like the card design and kind of some of the components that maybe could be better, but the gameplay itself just works so well.
I also just love the like niche, almost ironic and funny to be playing it, because what's a game like Moon Colony Bloodbath doing? But like there's a goof when you lean into the goofiness of it, when you lean into like, this isn't gonna be your fanciest, shiniest $100 board game. This is gonna be what it is. I love games like that. I love getting that to the table because you are laughing the entire way through it. And having that opportunity of like, you might lose a fair amount of the games that you play with it. Just makes it fun. It makes it fun. You keep laughing over it. There's a lot of goofy elements that you've described. That's one that you played at your bachelorette party that I looked at and I was like, I just don't think I have the capacity for this right now. And I still want to try it because I wanted to play it. But I think it was like 10 when you guys started. I can't remember. It was late. It was very late.
But I needed to play it because it's so good. I needed to play it at my bachelorette party, and we had such a fun time.
And Ian's got a good call out to Rio Grande. Gave my board game club a huge donation last year. Kids were able to get many. This is what I hear about them, is that they will send boxes to donate, and I love a company that will do that.
Yeah, and it was very much out of nowhere that I think they started doing this quite a bit more. There was a board game channel that they sent like 450 pounds of board games for, and they wound up giving most of them to a school and a youth group that was in, I think, the Nashville area, and didn't announce that they were doing it, didn't promote that they were doing it, and that to me is really, really cool. And you love to see it.
Yeah, no, I think they're a great company. I do like poking fun, but they are fantastic, and I'm so glad you got to play that game and give me that experience. I can hear that
money so that they can give more games to people.
Yeah. The You've Got Mail. I can hear the little door open. Yeah. Well, I already said my 11th, so we're at the halfway point. We're at the top 10 of it all. I'm very excited to see where our lists ended up and where we're at currently.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this as well, and not a huge amount of newness, but some movement mostly for
Same.
me.
Yeah.
Now would be a fantastic time to tell everybody, hey, there's a bunch of other top 10 lists that are already on the Tabletop Express channel. The next one that's going to be coming up is Danielle's, who I believe is in the chat still with us. So go check that one out. That'll be really fun to see. And yeah, I love watching the lists. Every once in a while, I'll throw one on in the background just to see what everybody else was picking. And we've got a good community here. I think there's some really good lists. And sometimes I see games that, even as kind of plugged into the industry and
Yeah.
really tuned in as I am, I find some new favorites through it. So definitely tune in for that.
Yay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining
Next week.
us. I am very excited for yours as well, especially from the solo component. I love hearing the new solo games I need to check out as well. So let's get into my number 10. My number 10 is a new game to the list. It is not something that you can currently pick up, but it is something that I think you might be able to late pledge for. And I apologize. I worried about putting this on the list and not having it be available. This is my favorite verb and right of all time now. This is Chicken Fried Dice.
Yes. Yes. You've talked about this so much.
I have played so much Chicken Fried Dice. It is ridiculous. This is a dice chucking and plucking game that I hate real-time games. I really do. I am very averse to them. It works so incredibly well here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be picking up dice out of the center, their ingredients. You can modify them with your truck, like you can re-roll them, you can chop them, you can sauce them to change the color. And you're trying to fill customer orders, which are going to give you bonuses. And you can, use those to get more dice to place out and fill more orders. Wonderful combo potential. It is very, very thinky. Even when you do make mistakes, there are mitigation methods to kind of, mitigate that real time, kind of element to it. I love the art on the cards, all the different animals. I have a card that is influenced by me in the game, which, I'm personally biased towards, but I love that as well. Ashwin's a fantastic creator along with Rob. The center picture is us playing with a bunch of folks, including Ashwin and Ruel Gaviola at OrcaCon. And I would be remiss if I didn't address Ian's comment. I'm curious to see how well this plays solo. It plays fantastic solo because on the back of each board, you have a different solo mode, 5 different solo modes that you can play. All of them play differently. All of them have unique challenges. And it's just so wonderful. It was so thoughtfully crafted. There's a lot to love in this game. I can't wait to get my own copy of it. I did get a kind of preview copy that I did have to pass on to the rest of the team that's in here. So Barrows and Aspen. But yeah, it's just such a lovely, lovely game. And kind of stole things for me late last year and early this year. And it's Chicken Fried Dice.
I love when you add the this is a thinky game, and then you look at the actual cover of the board game, and it is that goofy, silly, kind of cartoonish, because those are my favorite combinations. And I do want something that has depth to it. Hearing that there are multiple solo ways to play is also very exciting, because that solo play with bourbon rights in general can end up just being this sort of same thing over and over again. So to know that you can kind of play differently each time, that's a winner. That's a winner.
And it's a very small team, Ian. So you're backing, you know, a game that's going to benefit a very small team. You know, and they all did a fantastic job. Yeah, that solo part on it really sealed the deal for me.
Yeah.
I think that was Justin that did that, and he did such a phenomenal job making those different, unique, and interesting.
God, it's great. I've written it down. I have a list. I've written it down, so I can back that one. My number 10 moved from number 17 last year. So now we're moving up on the list. And that's a miniatures game called Gaslands. Mike Hutchinson created this one. I really like his designs. So he's come out with another one called Space Gits this year that I've been playing with friends, and it's just crazy. It works. This one is very chaotic, very, very good. You can play with Hot Wheels. I've got friends who have completely tricked out their terrain. So we've got the wacky wailing inflatable tube men. Very simple design in that you are creating a car, figuring out how fast it can go, essentially your gear, and you've got some health. So you are trying to fight people with different sort of weapons, ranged weapons, etc. And you are trying to get them off the board so that you can be the first to pass the finish line. I have played at least twice where I'm right near the finish line and someone makes my car explode and it propels it forward with an explosion, and thus I win the game because I crossed the finish line. Even though I didn't technically drive over it, I was pushed. It's great. I've been playing a lot more miniatures games than board games these days. And Gaslands is one of my favorites for just being dumb, silly fun. You can never guess where the game is going to end up because you could explode during it. And it's got that fun Hot Wheels aspect to it that like kids can enjoy. It's a very easy to like pare down for people who have never played miniatures games. And it's very easy to like play at the level where you can compete or play at Adepticon like I've always done. It's a great, lovely game. Always happens. Chaos rule. That's kind of just how to play the game. But once you're getting closer to the end line, that's when people start exploding, which is hilarious and fun. I love this. When looking back on my list, it was definitely a thing of, this should be much farther up because this one is really one of the first miniatures games that I've played. And so I had a big heart for it. And I like the community. The community is goofy, and we do chaotic things. Yeah, Gaslands is great. Mike Hutchinson, great designer. I met him this year at Adepticon, and I regret not asking him to sign my rule book. Also, a lovely human being who just kind of wants to create chaos. And I heard that they are testing out a new version of Gaslands. I didn't get to go to it because I was busy in a painting class, but my understanding is that likely a new version might be coming out. So I'm excited to see where that lands or where it explodes over the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is one that I need to play it at some point.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the opportunity yet.
Yeah. Board game adjacent,
It's on that someday list, that we will get around to it someday. Because I feel like my first game has to be with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I played Heat recently, which has like similar vibes. If you've ever played Heat, very similar, except you only need to play with Hot Wheels. Yeah, I would love it if you got into miniature games more. I want to get everybody playing with minis, and especially ones that are very easily accessible. Everything you need is in that rule book. They've got templates that you just trace in the book, or you can cut out from the book. And you can just play with random stuff around your house and play with a Hot Wheels car. Yeah, absolutely. Heat has that vibe. Yeah, very similar, just two different buy-ins. So it's great. It's great. And I want everybody to play.
I need to do that someday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my number 9 was my number 10 last year. It moved up by 1, and that is another Randy Flynn game. This is Cascadia. Also with also with Best Sobel art. And this has gone from I think it's just okay to this is pretty good to this is really good to I absolutely love this game. I think having a trip up to the Pacific Northwest moved it up even more for me because I was able to see some of these, vistas and beautiful, beautiful parks that inspired the game and really see them in detail and hike through them and get to experience them in person. And yeah, the game is just so genius from the fact that again, it's easy to teach, very easy to bring to the table, and that's a big thing for me, considering that I do a lot of the teaching. Being able to introduce it to new people has been very important, and there's a multitude of different ways that you can play it, variety of different goals and how they interact with each other and how you decide to play the game. It continues to be fresh. I love the app version of it. It's a great implementation. I hop on every once in a while to go and just play the daily kind of puzzle. And I absolutely love this one. Still great if you love tile placement. Highly recommended if you haven't checked it out yet.
So this is the biggest deal in my list this year because it moved from number 2 to number 1. And I know I didn't think anything could beat Uwe at this point.
Wow.
It's a really big deal, which is why I said earlier, Randy has kind of hit that point where he is truly one of my favorite designers as well. I remember, and I genuinely don't know if, so this came out around pandemic time, if I remember correctly. They kickstarted it. It was from Flat Out Games. And so there was an aspect to it where I was playing. They had just one set of the public objectives that you could play on like a simulator. It was not BGA. It was not anything. They created themselves. And I would play that every single day. I played the same thing every single day over and over because I liked how easy the solo was out of that, and then ended up backing it. And it's genuinely just like one of my favorite games at this point. I've got that emotional aspect to it that like it's very tender to me. I really love a tile placement game. I really love building out those biomes. They've got the replayability with different goals every single time. And it is, again, it's Randy Flynn. I think he puts a lot of care into his games. And this shows it. Yeah, so I guess, yes, to explain to everybody the fact that this has moved from number 1, I have an Uwe Rosenberg tattoo. I love my worker placement games. I love every single thing that he does. So this knocking him down, there's just so much replayability that I don't get with everything. Somebody call up Randy right now and tell him that this is a big deal. He's number 1 on my list. I'm going to have to get a cartoon face of him tattooed.
I was going to ask, when is the Randy tattoo coming?
I know. If he could do the same thing. So the Uwe tattoo that I've got is the classic, like Uwe rules. I think he's just got like one finger up, like, just so you know. So if we could get Randy in his rule books with some sort of like, that would be great, because then I could get that tattooed. I should not be doing this. I did it on a whim and I was like, this is great. But now anytime my favorite designer changes, it's clear that I'm going to need to get a tattoo to signify that in some way. And I shouldn't be doing that.
I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow.
It seems like it seems like it placed well in the community top 20 last year as well. It's a genius design. It's a genius design. Any of your tile placement games, this should be number one. So says I.
Yeah, it's a great pick.
And now I have to do 9 because you took my number one, which is adjacent to it because it's Carcassonne. This one was my number 6 last year. It only moved down because really I have my love for Cascadia already. Carcassonne is just one of those classic, this got me into gaming. This is one of the few that got me into gaming. And I like how the expansions play, but there's just like a lot going on with some of them. So it's your classic tile laying game. You're scoring based on roads, rivers and lakes. No, rivers, and then I don't if they call them encampment cities. Cities, I think, is what technically, yeah. And then fields. This was a little bit harder to explain to people than a Cascadia, which is why it dropped down a little bit. But it's got a really big place in my heart. I really like how goofy some of the expansions can be. And this year I bought the like mega full box of it. So it's officially on my shelf because technically this game, I did not own it. I've been playing it for over a decade, but somebody else had it. And this was the first time that I've actually added it to my shelf. Yeah, it's a really special one. It's that classic got you into board game. Chris says the circus expansion is my favorite and probably should not be. It shouldn't be, but it's goofy and it's fun. Yeah. I enjoy that about when games don't take themselves seriously. I have a good time with that. The circus expansion is that. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is a good game. I just got turned off to it because of the Justin Peters trash bag version of it, where it would take 3 hours, and he insisted on just throwing tiles into a giant bag.
Oh, you know what's very, very funny, and I think we've talked about this before, but I have a Justin in my friend group who is just like that, and he has specifically said, I just want to play a big version of Carcassonne where we cover the entire table, and I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, but you don't realize how long that will take and how hard the scoring will be. I can't. No.
Yep. I mean, I love Justin with all my heart.
Yes. Yeah,
I can't do it.
Can't do that. We all have one Justin in our lives.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we love them very much, but we also don't want to play trash bag Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Maybe one time for a birthday or something.
Yes.
Special occasion. Well, my number 8 was my number 7 last year. It did move down by 1 to make some room for some other games. This is a game that kind of took over the place of Too Many Bones for a little bit. I'm waffling between the two of them now. I'm getting a little bit more back into Too Many Bones. But this tells such a fantastic story. This is the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. This is a massive, massive game. If you love the Elder Scrolls universe, it is basically exploring the Elder Scrolls universe in a box with chip theory humor kind of sprinkled in amongst it. And apparently Bethesda was just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Why not? You can do that.
The stories I got to hear, with the making of this game and kind of working with Bethesda and getting their permission for everything, they thought that they were going to have trouble with a bunch of stuff, and Bethesda was apparently fairly chill about stuff, which was great. This is a game that has a cheese expansion that just they did for April Fool's Day, and it just adds a bunch of cheese cards.
There's nothing I love than when an April Fool's Day thing comes out and they're like, no, seriously, you can buy this. We actually made this because that's what we want. That's what we want.
We want funny stuff that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yep.
Um, and as far as gameplay goes, I think that this took the Too Many Bones experience, added to it, made it a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more friendly for people to kind of get into and understand. There is so much room for kind of character customization and coming up with wacky, broken characters, just like you would in the Elder Scrolls, um, that just do crazy things. And you're like, this shouldn't work, but that's the rules, and I'm going to go by them. The dungeon delving is fantastic because you get to explore all these crazy dungeons. Everything is timed, so you are on a timer. You are trying to get through as quickly as possible, and inflict as much damage as possible. It's great. It is. It's such a fantastic implementation, a true love letter to the entire universe of the Elder Scrolls. So if you are a fan, I would highly recommend at least playing it with somebody that has a copy, to see if it's something that you want to invest in, because it is an investment. It's a big box. It's a heavy box. There's a ton of content in there. But it is incredibly well done and produced with a lot of love.
Yeah, eventually I'll have to play. I mean, I'm here in the Twin Cities. I should be playing a chip theory game or two. But I still really want to try Too Many Bones. That one, I like the crossover between those two. And I have never played Elder Scrolls. Yeah,
Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls.
You've never played it?
Never played it. No, I'm a side scroller or a farming sim. Yeah. So if they make a Stardew Valley version, I'll be on that.
Yeah, it's a weird universe. And I think from the aspect that you can just do so much.
Yeah.
That you want to do and just kind of take your own path however you want to. It's great. I kind of love it.
Chris said there is a Stardew Valley game, and it is fantastic. That's a good implementation. When it comes to like difficult video games like Elder Scrolls, I like to watch people play that because I know that I can't do it. So a lot of the ones that get super goofy are the ones that get me. I watch a lot of people play like Fallout and stuff. Can't do it, but it's fun. The next one on my list, my number 8, moved down just one spot, which is Dominion. That one is you'll see that there's a lot of the like classic, here's how I got you into gaming. So Dominion is your deck builder, your very classic deck builder game, with so much content out there. There are so many boxes. I only own a handful of them, but I absolutely love it when I have the itch to play a deck building game. This is the one that I want to go to. This is the one that I'll bring out and do some goofy combos with to try and randomize it. I absolutely love it. I love a deck builder. And this one's really straightforward. Looks wise, I know that like it can, folks that are new to gaming can be a little turned off on because it's got that like medieval vibe to it, but I love it. I love it. I love how cheeky it is. And I love the different varieties that you can play and just how much crossover you can do. I've got one of the magic expansions, which I think has like rats in it. And every time you play a rat, you pull another rat card because it's just a rat infestation, which is truly wonderful to see in a game. And also a Rio Grande game. So they're still around probably because Dominion and also because they play goofy little games. But Dominion, I hope, they're still their evergreen. Everybody is still playing this one. But yeah, these are the two very classical board games that I've really got on my list. The OG board games.
Yeah, you've got to play Dominion if you haven't, just from the standpoint of it's a classic. It is what I consider the OG deck builder.
Yep.
It's arguable if it was or not, but To me, that's the one that always stands out as this is home for deck building for me.
Yeah, this is the one that grabbed everybody's attention, and for good reason, and a good reason that it stays on my shelf, despite not being played super often.
Well, speaking of Rio Grande games, my number 7 was my number 6 last year. This is Randy Flynn's favorite game of all time, I believe, and this one's Concordia. Yeah, it's just such a fun kind of race to expand out your territory, trying to build different markets in the different regions. The thing that I really love about this game is the fact that you can teach with the cards that are in somebody's hand. You can go through every card that you're going to play is an action. You can explain what those actions do in order, and then everybody kind of gets what you're doing, and they can go to it. The other thing that I love about this is that once you choose to what you call prefect a province, everybody that has a market there is able to take advantage of that and gain some sort of resource that they have the market on. So they're able to generate stuff even if it's not on their turn. It keeps everybody really engaged, really fascinated with the game. And then the other thing is, once you run out of cards, there's a card that you play that you get all of your cards back. And I believe it's if you pick up 3 or more, you start to pick up extra coins, because you picked up so many cards as well. So it's an incentive to play your cards smart so that you don't pick up, you don't have to spend a bunch of turns, picking up 2 or 3 cards at a time. And you get a bonus for doing that as well. And I think all the mechanisms that are in this game are fantastic. I just got done in January playing a 6-player game of this on Teams, with Randy, with my wife, with a couple of other folks. I think Amanda might have been one of the other people that was at the table. And it was a 4-hour game, but we had a fantastic time, and well worth it. Well worth sitting down and doing this. It's an incredible design.
It's funny because looking at the board, I'm like, this probably isn't 4 hours. This is like 2 hours or something. But if it's Randy's, I've got to check it out. If it's Randy's favorite, I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's not normally a 4-hour game, but if you're playing it in teams, it can be a 4-hour game.
Yeah.
The other thing about the teams variant that I really liked, and this was the first time that I played it, your teammate has certain cards that you don't. So you have to figure out when to play it because your teammate is going to be able to copy your action that you do. So you kind of have to time everything out properly and make sure that you're able to maximize that action. I think it's such a clever, unique way of handling a team game of this. Really, really well done. Dr. J, I hope you win this game on auction because it's a fantastic one.
Yeah, that one's great. My number 7 was my number 9 last year. And it's 5 Tribes. This one is so clever. I really like unique mechanics in a game. And this one, you have a randomized tiled grid with meeples placed on each square. Within that, you're going to grab one single color, and however many meeples of the same color you pick, you go around dropping those meeples on the grid one by one. Kind of a Mancala aspect to it is the best way that I can describe it. And there's a variety, those tiles offer a variety of things, whether it is trying to get a bunch of one resource, get different cards of different types so that you are stacking points that way. You're erecting buildings on there that will give you points at the end of the game. And as you get into that end game, and there's just a few meeples left, because the meeples itself, the color that it represents, gives you a special thing. It becomes harder to do because there's less meeples out there and less spots for you to go. It's very, very clever. Again, I really like different mechanics. It's a Bruno Catala game, and he's got some really great designs. This one scratches an itch for me because I like to play different mechanics in general. And I really haven't seen anybody do something this clever with the game yet. And so it's been on my list for some time. Another one that I think I played early on in my hobby with it. And I've got the heart for it. There's a couple of expansions, and I love playing with the expansions. It's not necessary, but it is a lot more fun. Yeah, the design is great. Yeah, Chris said, I appreciate this one. Fell down my list over the years, but I like the design. The design is clever, and that is essentially why it stayed on my list this long. The art that Days of Wonder did for it, probably a little questionable, but still cartoony enough that like it hopefully doesn't like cross too many lines, because you play. It's got like a Middle East vibe to it. There's an expansion with some djinns that do special abilities that you can get. It's lovely. It's lovely. I love it so much. And the replayability of like switching up the grid pattern is really, really nice. This one, though, I do feel like you've got to play with someone who's played it in the past, because once the first couple of games, you're trying to learn that mechanic. So to optimize it, you'll need to play a few times in order to like understand what moves work really well for you, or what you want to go after versus what other players are going after. I think that's another thing, and it's something you were describing with Concordia, of just like mastering those mechanics, something new. I get a lot of joy out of that, just trying to figure out what the mechanic is and how I can optimize that mechanic. And this is one that you do have to play just like a couple of times to figure out. But yeah, it's moved in my list, which is very exciting.
Yeah, this one I've played once so far, and I keep meaning to bring it out to the table because it's on my shelf. It's not going anywhere. It's not like my one and done or anything. And it's just one of those games that I have to play so many new games that I really need to come back and take time and revisit this one.
We'll keep it on our list.
Got to keep it on the list.
Yeah.
Well, my number 6 was my number 5 last year. It did slip down a little bit. I haven't gotten this one back to the table as much as I'd like it. But I do have a huge fondness for Endeavor Deep Sea. This is a wonderful game about conservation in the ocean. And you start off with very limited abilities, a very limited crew. And this is another one very, very similar in flavor to Russian Railroads, where you'll have an engine that starts off incredibly tiny, and by the end you are doing amazing, magnificent turns and doing all of these crazy things. You can play it solo, you can play it cooperatively, you can play it competitively. Exploration in this, to me, is the real fun of the game, because no two boards, everything is modular, and no two boards are ever going to be the same. You get to explore, you get to do these different actions. Some of the actions you get to benefit with somebody else that's placing a token there. So there's a little bit of, not necessarily cooperation, but a shared benefit, which I really like to see. And that engine building of being able to go up these tracks and really get more actions, build up your specialists. And yes, this one does have an expansion that is coming out shortly. I think it should be shipping fairly shortly. The other thing that I really like about this was the story of how this came to be, and the fact that this used to be Endeavor Age of Sail, which was a highly problematic theme, based on colonization and exploitation. And the fact that, Burn Island came in with, I want to say it's, oh no, I can't think of the co-designer. Grand Guild Games, I believe. Something like
It's too
that.
late. It's too late to remember
Yeah,
names.
it's 10:51 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But the two of them joined together and were able to come together and retheme this. And the way that they rethemed it, you would never know that it was anything but this. You would never know that it was anything but conservation. The insert that they produced, with game trays, is a formed paper that is recyclable. So everything was taken care of with such care and thought. I really, really, really enjoyed this game. I do need to play it solo more. It is very, very difficult if you're going to play it cooperatively or solo. Just be warned. You're probably going to lose the first few times, just because. But I've been thinking about this one lately. Grand Gamers Guild. Thank you, Ryan. The two of them really came together and produced something that I think is pretty magical.
Yeah, this is another one that I've heard you talk about that is on my list of, I would definitely play that one with you to just check it out. Also, the mechanics look wonderful, and tabletop presence alone seems really wonderful. Okay, well, my number 6 was my number 14 last year. So again, a lot of change for me. This one's Quacks of Quedlinburg. I play this all the time, and it really shows off how to do bag building really, really well. And both play to new gamers and seasoned gamers. So this one, you are essentially quacks. I'm not going to call them pharmacists, but quacks, magicians of some sort. I can't figure out the word. But you're pulling from your bag the special ingredients that you're making for your potions. And those things all have a book with them. So you'll see on the left-hand side are the books that you can play with. And from there, it'll explain where you move your ingredients on your potion in your cauldron. It's really clever. I love their expansions. You don't need to play with them, but I think they add some fun flavor to it. Ton of replayability because those books are double-sided and there's multiple books depending on the color of the potion ingredient. And a lot of the times, since it's push your luck, your cauldron explodes and you either get to buy something that round or score points that round, which I think is really clever. There's a catch-up mechanic in there with your rat tails. So you get to move your pieces farther along depending on how far back you are with points. And I always appreciate having a mechanic in there where you can catch up in an easier way. So I tend to let my potions explode very early on in the game because it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to buy things. And then later in the game, try and go for points. Ian says, we bought Quacks last year after the new art. Gosh, who did the new? It was the
CMYK.
Because they did 5s, and I really love 5s.
Yep.
The new art is fantastic. I really love how bright it is. The original art that you see here, it really is that like OG gamer art, which I love, and I can't replace mine. But the new art is kind of like puppier and cuter on the table, which I really, really like. Big crossover this year already. It's a lovely game. I love playing it, and it's if you want to do bag building, that's the one to start with.
I happen to think that it's a pretty good game, and it's also my number 3.
Yes, yes, yes,
You know,
yes. I
because
love it
we just
because we
have
love
good
it.
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a special game to me. I've played a lot of this game. I've introduced a lot of people to this game. The new art is absolutely wonderful. My wife actually made me pick up a copy with the new art, even though I have all the stuff for the old art.
Yep.
I needed to pick up the new art stuff. She was very surprised that it was not a game about ducks.
Yeah. Yep.
She was like, I didn't know where any of the ducks were in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's I also got to introduce it to my college roommate, from way back when. I got to do that this past year, and he's not a gamer at all. But he sat down with it, and he went, and his wife came up, and he basically said, "We need to buy this game. You need
Yeah.
to sit down and play this, because it's really cool." So it's those kind of moments that this has been able to provide. The push your luck on this is just so
Yeah.
incredibly good, and I think that's what really attracts people to it. It's pretty easy to get into as well. And Chris also has good taste.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sharing number 3. DNX is also a crossover. Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It nearly was number 2 for me this year, but just kind of missed out on that number 2 spot.
Yeah. Should I do my number 5? There's just so much crossover this year.
There's a ton of crossover.
I'll do it. My number 5 changed. It went down one, and that is Clank. I absolutely adore this design, and it's one that I'll probably scream from the rooftops. I have both the digital version and the board game version. I've also played season 1. I don't know if they call it season 1, but like campaign 1, which I zoomed through during the pandemic. Absolutely wonderful design for that, and half of campaign 2. I have not gotten through it yet. Yeah, I also respect the punctuation because it is Clank ! So important to note that. This one is a crossover with deck building and push your luck. So you are diving deeper into a dungeon with the cards that you have in your hands. And the further down you go, the more points you might pull up because someone else might get to that artifact sooner. There are some other fun things that you get within the rooms that you go into. Anything with crystals, you have to immediately stop there. But there are some cards that you can receive that let you move through those crystal caves. Monsters that you will fight. The dragon is pushing you farther and farther down the road, depending on if he's pulling your cubes out of the bag, because when we pull a dragon card, we're pulling cubes out of a bag, and those cubes are your health. So having that kind of push your luck to it, plus the deck building aspect to it, makes it really fun. They've got many versions. I still love the OG version. And as you can see, you can play it on Steam right now, or I think you can play it on your phone too, if I remember correctly. I just maybe bought it for the Steam Deck. Clank Legacy is fantastic from limited time. Yes, Chris, it's genuinely my favorite Legacy game. I don't think if there's ever a game that like I want to push on somebody, it is Clank Legacy. They did a really, really good job with it. The writing is wonderful. It's one of the games that you could play different times and come out with different outcomes, which I really like within Legacy. So that way you could potentially play it more than once if you wanted to buy another copy. the opposite Clank.
It took me 2 minutes for that bit, but I needed to do it.
I love that. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
It's goofy. It's goofy. It fits perfectly with the Clank vibes. There is Mr. Whiskers, which is a cat in the game, and I do have the plushie because I backed it on Kickstarter when Legacy 2 came out. It's the meta stuff on the card art for you. That's the thing is like yes, Mr. Whiskers. The art has little callbacks to like D&D, side scroller games, like so many other things that like surprise me each time I play it. So you feel very connected when you play the game because it's like, oh yeah, that's whatever. But I love it. I love the gameplay. I love the mechanics. It combined two of my favorite things. So yeah, it did move down just the one spot for me this year, but still my top 5. There's no way I could replace it.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. I am in the middle of season 1, I believe, and I have season 2, and it's all sealed up, and the people that I'm playing it with are moving.
We started it last year when we got it, and we did the thing where we played like a solid month of it, and then it got nice outside. And then it's been sitting in the vaulted table since then. Someday we'll finish it. Someday I'll finish it.
Stupid nice weather ruining everything for us.
Yeah.
Well, my number 5 was my number 4 last year. This is a game by Kayenta Games. The designer is Dan Halligan, and that is Obsession. This is a board game that is very much like Downton Abbey. You're trying to keep up your estate and build your estate and attract all these very affluent partygoers to your estate and have fun things for them to do, and eventually attract the very lovely super wealthy family. You want to make sure that you attract one of their heirs to go and marry by the end of the game, as you do.
Yeah.
I love the gameplay of this. It is not an easy teach because it's a very strange game to kind of educate people about. A fantastic BGA implementation, by the way. I would watch a video if you're not familiar. I think that that's the best way to teach people. Do not open the instruction manual and have anybody see the pie chart that's on the second page of the instruction manual. Dan thought that was the best way possible. And like, once you know what the game is and know how to play it, that pie chart is incredibly handy. But when you're learning the game and you see that, you're like, what am I in for? This is terrible. It's a lovely game. The more that I play it, the more that I respect what Dan did with it. And a fantastic game. I know some people in the community here have already played it, already know my love for it. And a new big box is being shipped, I believe, right now. I think it's on boats. So I finally have a place to put all my stuff that isn't a bunch of separate boxes, which I love personally. That is my happy place. This is definitely, again, a game that is going to be difficult to teach, but once you get through it, people are, for the most part, going to enjoy it and appreciate what it does, especially with a couple of plays.
Yeah, the Downton Abbey vibes really bring it in for that one, which is another good example of like, you don't need the fanciest graphic design on your boards or anything like that. I believe, if I remember correctly, the designer of the game, of the mechanics, also did some of the like graphic design on this as well, which I just think is great. I think it's great when you've just got, it seems like something very passionate, a game that like he felt very happy with. And then to see that take off, because everybody talks about Obsession. I still haven't played my copy, but it's fine. There's no
I
judgment here.
do I do think the one thing that I would like to see in this game, and I think Mick brought it up last year,
Yes.
is a little bit better representation.
Yep.
You could very easily do that in this game, and that is one thing that does detract a little bit in the experience. I would like to see a little bit more variety in the game. There are some themes of gender in the game as well. Um, you can kind of play around them. They're not like super in your face. But they are definitely there. So that is one kind of detriment to the game, but overall a very good experience.
They need the Bridgerton of it all. They need to just
They really do.
step outside
Lean
of.
into it.
Yep. It's a good pick though. My number 4 went up since last year. Basically, Clank and Wingspan switch spots for me, which is very funny to me because these are the two things that I play online the most. This one I do have the caveat of you need to play with the Oceania expansion because that nectar ends up being key and feeling like you're doing more in the game. There's a part of me that's like, do I explain Wingspan? Everybody here's got to know how to play Wingspan. I guess we would consider it tableau building. Your tiny little birds, placing them in 3 different habitats. You're going after public objectives. You're going after private objectives. And I have the fanciest of fancy bits for this. And I've got the big box. I've got everything that you can possibly get it, except I didn't know that an expansion just came out. So literally 5 minutes before we hopped on stream, I was looking it up on Noble Knight because I was like, I need to get this one because this is one that I get all the expansions for. So far, Oceania is the number 1 that I think we need to play with. I didn't like, I think it was the Asia expansion that came up with like a solo player, two player variant, I think is what it was. I just never, that one never landed with me. But the nectar out of the out of the Oceania expansion really adds to the gameplay. You get higher points with that. It feels like you're doing more. One of the things that I will say that I've found, and I think others have criticized Stonemeyer over, is that they can really pull back on a game at the beginning. So base games tend to be a very pared down. You can only do 1 or 2 actions. That's it. You've got no choice. So with the Oceanic expansion, you actually get to have more choice and you have a little bit more agency on what path you want to take. I know min-maxers are out there and are trying to tuck as many birds as possible, but I like to lay my eggs. I like to go after the little penguin that's got to eat fish all the time. But it's great. It's great. I'm sure we all know it's great. So keep playing it with me. I play online all the time. The two biggest games that I play online are Clank and Wingspan. So they should be top 3, but here we are. Oh, and Chris says, I actually like the Asia one, but I prefer Wormspan overall. I did play Wormspan. It was fun. It was a lot of graphic design. It was a lot of like, read this text on a board. So I got very overwhelmed by it and ended up not getting it. But I really liked what you did with that one.
Yeah, Wormspan is actually Allie's favorite of the 2 that she's played. I don't think she's played Wingspan.
What?
But she has played Finspan, and she preferred Wormspan to it, which surprised me. Yeah.
Your wife hasn't played Wingspan?
No.
Okay, I'm coming to Ohio right now. I'm gonna search
good.
a ticket.
Good. This is how I trick you into coming to Ohio. Yeah, Wingspan's a game that if you listen to the early episodes of Cardboard Time, I did not like that game.
Yeah.
I did not like that game. I bounced off of it. And the more that I've played it, and I've probably got a good 20, 25 plays at this point, at least, the more that I've appreciated it and appreciated what it's done. And I think it's a brilliant design.
Yeah. I think Elizabeth Hargrave hit it out the park with this one. And I really love the expansions coming out every so often and not feeling overwhelmed like you've got to buy everything. You can wait and play it, see how it feels. This is one of the more perfect games that I really like to play.
Ryan's with my early take on
Yeah.
on Wingspan. Hey, it's not for everybody. Not
No,
every
no, it
game
is
is for
not.
everybody.
I will not force it on anybody.
My number 4 was my number 8 last year. It moved up. And the reason that moved up was I got some more time with it, especially with the deluxe edition and particularly with the Vineyards expansion. My number 4 is Castles of Burgundy.
Yeah.
This is a amazing Stefan Feld design. It's so incredibly simple. You basically get 2 dice. You get to do things with them. Either take a tile or place a tile out on your board at a specific spot. You get bonus. You get to do other stuff. The expansions that it came out with are kind of hit and miss. It has a pretty decent solo mode. There is a team variant for it that you can play. And the Vineyards expansion really hit well for me as well. I thought that was really well done. Getting this back to the table in a deluxe form, and being able to kind of play some of those different maps I haven't played and just have like the plethora of different boards that I could go and try out and not be stuck with the same, board that I've been playing with on BGA forever. Has just been fantastic. And I love what they did with the implementation. Not a huge fan of Awakened Realms right now, with what they've done. Particularly around, the proliferation of their AI usage in the art, which I guess they're cutting back on now, which is a good sign.
Great.
This was a really well done implementation from a deluxe version, perspective. And Chris, definitely try the Vineyard expansion. I think that it's a very, very worthwhile one to add, and one that I would always add in if I could. And Ryan, I agree with you 100%. I know that we have talked about playing the deluxe edition together for like 2 years at this point, and we really need to do that.
I'm embarrassed to say that this was number 2 on my list last year, and it isn't on my list this year. And the only reason being that I just can't get it, just hasn't hit the table. I haven't been able to get it to the table, despite it being one of my favorite designs. I agree 100% on the Awakened Realms of it all. And had gotten it from a friend, but it's a whole thing to pull that out. It's a whole thing to teach people, and that one's been the biggest barrier for me, despite being one of my favorite games, design wise, exactly what I am looking for. And you and I have played on BGA a lot, and I should just encourage everybody to add me and play it, because I'll play it on BGA as much as possible. It didn't hit my table this year, so I had to nix it, and it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
My number 3 is new this year. Technically, it was on my list last year, and it was lower on my list. It was 15, and it is number 3 now, baby. And that's the Blood Bowl 3rd season edition, which is new. They have come out with a new season, tweaking the rule book just a little bit, adding some more skills, making passing a bit easier. And then different wording that they've created as well. If you don't know Blood Bowl, it's a miniatures game. It's fantasy football. You are playing as a football team trying to score touchdowns and also maybe do a murder or two. I'm absolutely thrilled. This announcement of the new season happened out of nowhere. Everybody knew that, or was hoping that it was going to be coming out, and we got it. We got it, baby. This is probably the number one game that I play the most in a year. I'm part of some leagues. I love my vampires. I'm playing as gnomes this year. Yeah, Games Workshop is making an appearance on here. I couldn't stop myself. It's fantastic. It is harder to teach somebody any miniatures game typically is going to be. It is not on the level of like Warhammer 40K, but it's absolutely delightful. I've met some of the best people in the miniatures hobby through Blood Bowl because you're rolling dice, and it kind of is push your luck because the dice can hurt you, and rerolls are expensive because you do buy your team, and you've got only $1 million to buy your team with, and rerolls are part of that. So depending on how you set up your team, you might not be able to reroll that much, and the dice might hurt you. Really, really glad that we've got this new edition. They've cleaned up the rule book, which had a lot of repetitive verbiage that was confusing to new players. So anything that's going to bring more players in is great. They've got some new teams. I'm hoping they come out with some more new teams. Yeah, they dropped the ball with Warhammer Fantasy, but I really want to play this. Yeah, there's a lot that I want to see happen with some of the teams. I go with a lot of the Grebo Games teams, which are they end up doing like dogs and cats and all of these wacky other things. Penguins is, I think, the Norse team. There's dozens of teams. There are under the table teams that fans have created, which I tried once with my league. It's great. It's a great way to get into the miniatures hobby if you want to get into it and you want to have fun. So yeah, this one shot up my list now that we've got the new edition and things are a little bit more cleaned up. Arwen, I know you and I have talked about playing it someday. We'll add it to the list as well. We'll just keep it on that list because it's great.
I feel like this is something that I kind of need to spend a week in Minneapolis and just like play the stuff that we were going to play out there, like Gaslands and Blood Bowl. And then you come and spend a week in Ohio and play Concordia, like Castles of Burgundy and all that.
Yeah, Chris, there's push your luck, but for the most part, you do have the people who are like, I'm not pushing my luck at all. I'm going to completely max out my team so that there is less push your luck. I like to be goofy. I like to throw the ball and pass it as much as possible, which you end up doing push your luck with that. But it's fun, and I have beat people in the weirdest way where they're like, why did you make that move? I don't think that was the best move. And I was like, I'm a wild card, and I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to throw that ball down the field, and we're going to see what happens. And if it works, it feels really good. It feels really, really good on that. Yeah, I'll sing it from the rooftops. It's top 3 for a reason. It's top 3 for a reason for me.
Well, should I pick up with my number 2?
Yeah.
My number 2 was my number 2 last year. It has not changed. This is a game called Space Base by John D. Clare, published by AEG. I love this game from the fact that nobody is ever sitting idle. Everybody is always engaged. Everybody is always getting something on their board. You're rolling dice. You get to take the thing that you get from your board, and you're building up your board to do better and better things as the game goes on. It's a race to 40 points. And not only do you get the stuff on your turn, but once you buy a card to fit into a slot for a specific die number, or combined dice number, if you will, you get to flip the card over, and you get the kind of flip side of that card in a bonus on everybody else's turn. I have not played the second round of expansions. I would highly recommend, if people like chucking a ton of dice, definitely play the first expansion. You don't have to play through the campaign. You can just open it, add the components, read the rules. it's fine. But being able to chuck like these little tiny dice and get like little extra benefits at the end of the game, I think I was chucking like 12 dice at once and just, getting all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I was able to buy anything by the end of the game. It was great. Yeah, I love this. It's been in that spot or the number one spot for me since I started doing the top 20s. And people were asking me what my favorite game was of all time, and it's because nobody is ever sitting at the table and kind of wondering, okay, when is it my turn? It's always your turn, baby. You're always in.
This is another one that's in shrink wrap on my table or on my shelf, and it has been there for like a year or two. And it is because I know everybody has said it's so good, but the barrier of me needing to learn a game right now is so strong against me. I should just watch a video at this point because I love dice chucking and I love having a good time and laughing at the table. So this is one that's on so many people's lists that I really need to check out.
Or put it on a list and have a friend teach you how to play it because
Yeah.
she's taught it so much.
Yeah, I'm coming. We're going to play games. Well, this is my last one because you stole my number one big reveal. And the number two should be no surprise because it's a Feast for Odin with the Norwegians expansion. I've played this game dozens and dozens. That's my tattoo. Oh, my baby, my son. I've played this game so many times. Friends of mine here in the Twin Cities, I think we're on our 10th anniversary now. 10 years ago, we decided we were going to create our own convention called Viking Con. It was just for a handful of friends, and we play a bunch of Viking games. And this is kind of like the end of the weekend. We play this one. This one's a big winner for everybody. And it is everything that's great about Uwe's designs. It's got that worker placement. It's got tile placement on there. There's a lot of different ways. This is a sandbox game. There are a lot of different ways that you can win, a lot of different ways that I've seen people win. So you don't necessarily have to go raiding, and that's your only path to victory. You can choose farming, and that can be your path to victory, or emigration. A lot of different ways to win this one, a lot of different ways to play. It is one of those things where you start off with only a few workers, and throughout the game, you gain more workers. And of course, it wouldn't be Uwe if you didn't have to feed them. So make sure that you feed them. I love this one. It has been on my shelf for 10 years now, and I still find new ways to fall in love with it. I like every aspect about it. Yeah. As I've said a few times, Uwe is one of my favorite designers for a reason, and I think this one for me is his PhD level love letter to all of us. We're getting a new version. We're getting expansions that are coming out soon. I have been waiting for this for years and years and years now. My understanding from BGG is that it's maybe going to include a new design in general and include all of the expansions. And the expansions for this one are a necessity. Playing base game Feast, it's great, it's wonderful, but it holds you back a lot. And I do have that like back and forth of, if the base game isn't great, does that still make it a great design? And clearly I have decided to say, yes, it is still a great design. The expansions only add more to it. So yeah, this is my number two. I'm very brokenhearted that it has fallen to number two, but I've played it a lot. And I needed a new champion. And Randy deserved that title. Randy deserved it. Yeah, and Chris said, had a chance to play this once, liked it, will play again with a better teacher. The first one doesn't count. I think the first time I played it, I ended up with like 30 points, and you should be hitting like 110, 150 points. It's very hard to master at the beginning. While it is similar to all of his other designs, it is one that you've just got to play a handful of times to really figure out what you're trying to do, because there's so much to do in that game.
Yeah, this is a top 30 game for
Yeah.
me. It's just sitting outside of that top 20 because it's so incredibly good.
Yeah.
There's like you said, so many paths to victory that
Yeah.
you have that you're able to take, and having that open sandbox, I think is really it's never been the same game twice for me,
Yep.
and it's always been wildly different, and that's without the expansion. So
Yep.
I'm very interested to play with the expansion at some
Oh,
point. It's
I'm gonna make
absolutely
us a spreadsheet is what I'm gonna do.
please,
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
because we need this.
Yeah. It'll get
We're
us through to the next time we see one another.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Well, we've made it to number one, and Olivia's already revealed her number one, and my number one is my same number one as last year. This is Orleans, a
Yeah. Yeah.
wonderful bag building game. The king of bag builders for me, even though I love Quacks Quedlinburg. This is a phenomenal masterclass of a game. You're able to do so much. Your strategy changes with the ability tiles that you get. With the technologies, you're the only one that's able to do the thing, and you get this little bonus that nobody else gets, and you can just kind of, manipulate it and do cool stuff that nobody else can, and it's great. Um, you know, Being able to play this game, I fully believe you've got to have one of the expansions, and I think it's Intrigue, if I'm not mistaken. Um, that's one that I highly recommend. Thanks for stopping by, Ian.
Yeah.
Um, the Plague is one that I haven't played yet, but I'm very interested to play since I like those kind of loss aversion type games. I like when bad things happen and you have
Yeah.
to kind of mitigate
Yep.
that. Um, but there's a lot of expansions for this. Plays very well solo and co-op as well. There's a couple of expansions that add that in as well, and it really does a fantastic job at bag building. And I will play this at any time anybody wants. It's a lovely, lovely game.
So this one and Castles of Burgundy are two that everybody that I've ever met has said you will love this game. And I tried Castles of Burgundy and bought it immediately. And this one I have yet to find anybody to teach me, but I know once I play it, I'm gonna be in love with it. Yeah, it's a classic design for a reason, and I've been dying to try it. So
I will
I'll put it
teach
at the top of
you.
the spreadsheet.
I will teach you.
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. Good way to end it for the top 20. That is a fantastic game.
Olivia, anything that you want to promote while we're kind of signing off here?
I want to promote drinking water as much as you can every day so that you are not dehydrated.
Hydrate.
You can't find me on social media. As I had mentioned earlier, I'm no longer on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I sort of regularly check that, but I'm bad at it. Water, you can choose water. Yeah.
Every time is a preference.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I am not on social media. I am constantly working, it seems. But find me on BGA. My name is Olo Plays. I've commented in the chat a bunch. Find me on BGA. Ask me to play any of these games on the list that I said that I know already, not the ones that I have to learn because I will refuse to do them on BGA. But the other games, absolutely, find me.
Fair.
Castles of Burgundy, find me. And then I have my list to back Chicken Fried Dice, and then to check out Dice Throne Digital. So thank you, everybody in the chat, for helping me today, because this was lovely. Arwen, what do you have to promote?
So if you do want to get a hold of me on socials, I am at cardboard_time on Instagram. I'm at cardboard time on Blue Sky. I am in the Tabletop Express Discord. You can find me there and have a little mini channel where you can kind of keep up with what I'm doing. I'm also Cardboard Time on BGA if you ever want to get a game going and spun up. I do have a new episode of the Cardboard Time podcast tomorrow. Episode number 134 is going to drop with a review of Tea Garden Pew. I pronounce this a bunch of times. It's Puerh. Pura or something. I can't remember how to pronounce it. I will have a review where I pronounce it properly. It is late. And
it's 10:30 here and 11:30 where you're at, so forgiveness all around.
Exactly. I also have an interview with the lovely Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire that you'll definitely want to check out. We sat down for about an hour at Leader Games discussing the future of Leader Games. So if you are interested in seeing what they are going to do after the split with Berry Giant, you're definitely going to want to tune in for that. That is up at 5 a.m. tomorrow if you want to wake up early.
5 a.m. Eastern? Oof.
5 a.m. Eastern. I don't have to upload it. It's already up. So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
You can just go listen to it. Yeah. It does everything for me. It's nice. Yeah, Liz is an absolute delight to talk to and a fellow cheese queen as well.
Yeah, she will bring you some funky cheeses. It wasn't even that funky. It was just crystallized. Who knew crystals? Who knew crystals existed in cheese? Now I do.
Crystalline in nature. Also, don't forget to tune in for all the other top 20 lists. Danielle is up next with her list coming up next week, I believe. Looking forward to that, and go back and check out all the other ones. If you have not, definitely check out the Tabletop Express Discord. Again, a fantastic community that is there. So I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, Olivia, thank you so much for joining me. I always look forward to this.
I look forward to it next year.